Hey YouTube, Muchísimo Eugene. Another video from Exit Strategy. I got you guys a little bit in the dark. I got the ring light on, and I just installed some more daylight light bulbs. I actually like them. They're very white and they're very bright. It's like a very natural light, but I just thought it was too much at this hour of the night. It's probably about midnight, and I wanted to talk just, I don't know, I just want to just throw something out there in the air regarding narcissists and how when you observe them out and about in public, or you perceive or you have a hunch that they could be narcissists, most often you don't have to have a hunch. It will actually jump out at you if you have the knowledge and the insight of how these people move. But more importantly, if you're just kind of at a distance, this is a great indicator that the person or persons, it could be a group of narcissists, and the obnoxiousness of this nightmare interaction is enough to, I don't know, make you turn the car around and forget what you want to go out and about and do, and just go home, pack it up. It is very unnerving when you're out in public as an empath and you see so much of this matrix mumbo jumbo, and to identify for certain if you're dealing with a narcissist, whether it be up close and personal or from a casual distance of observing. For me, this is how I've often observed a narcissist without ever even speaking to them or having a conversation. And I'm going to tell you what I do once I discover that they are a narcissist. I leave them on red. And when you leave them on red, that's kind of, they solidify your hunch as to whether you thought they were a narcissist. And I'll tell you how you do it. You could be waiting in line at a Home Depot or Lowe's or Walmart. Everything's Walmart, right? And you are just, you make it your business just to zone everything and everybody out. You don't even look around at the candy shelf. You're just kind of, let me see if I can demonstrate. You're just kind of, and that's a weirdo look, I know, but you're kind of in your own space. You're minding your own business, and you get an unction to look around, and you look around just casually, you know, because you don't want to stand there like a mannequin with the pandemonium going on around you. So you just kind of you awkwardly glance around just to pass the time, because you want to get the hell out of there. You just want to go back to your happy place and get out of the clown show. And so you look around, and when you look around, you will see a narcissist doing cartwheels, jumping jack, backflips. This is metaphor. They're doing so much extra stuff, man. And at the same time, while they're doing it, trying to get the attention and the adoration and the admiration of the person in front of them, they're rubbernecking and looking all around in their silliness for other people's validation. They're trying to garner it from everywhere like confetti. This is like a very obvious way to determine a narcissist. This is just not someone who's obnoxious. And I can remember growing up when I act similarly like some of the people that I observed doing this. And looking back at that in my life, I realized that I was mimicking what I believe was just a thing to do. Why didn't I end up becoming a narcissist? I'll tell you why. Because in my upbringing, I was not coddled. I was not overly disciplined. I wouldn't call it. I just think my mom was very stern. But you felt you felt love. You didn't feel hated. You didn't feel ostracized. You didn't feel singled out. You didn't feel like you were last man out. Or I didn't. And some of us did. We were black sheep of the family. And that was probably your blessing too. Even though it may seem like a curse, if you look back at your childhood, it was in essence a blessing. Because look at what happened to you now. Look at what you came through. Look at how you leveled up to become a solid, sound person with sanity. Contrary to popular belief, you're not insane. You probably are more well balanced than the average human being because you went through so much and you've endured so much. But enough of that. Back to what I'm trying to get across to you guys. As I was growing up, I saw myself behaving like that. But as I became an adult, and it happened, I believe that transition happened when I became in my 20s and I went off to prison. I had an epiphany of some sort, and I just determined myself to try to become a better person from the inside out. And I started gravitating to things that I believe were wholesome, sound prerequisites for that. And I did it. I went on to do that. But often I didn't draw off of a lot of self-help books. I read a lot of Charles Spurgeon because something just allured me to this guy, because someone spoke of him and they said that he was an apologetic from the 17 or 1800s, and reading his writings and his manuscripts, and now they have him on audio book. And these are spiritual matters that help me get back to where I needed to be in the balance and I needed in my life. If you understanding where I'm trying to go with that. For other people, it may be just self-help books like what's his name, Deepak, and there's another Asian philosopher. There's just a lot of things that you yourself might have drawn from. For me, it was Charles Spurgeon. And I realized that there was something innate to my nature that didn't want to be obnoxious anymore, didn't want to do those things that everybody else did. And if I wasn't weird already, I began to withdraw from all the foolishness and all the madness. I didn't have to go in a building or go in a place or an establishment and be the clown. I love being humorous. I still have that persona or that personality, but I'll tell you one thing, I don't take it lightly when it comes to being mature and trying to do the things that I believe will develop you as a human being and thereby garner you the respect of people around you. If you want to be taken serious, you have to behave seriously. And you know, all jokes aside, and no pun intended, jokes can be a part of your personality. You don't have to change who you are, just change the way you do things. And that's what I began to do. But the narcissist, you will know that these people are so obnoxious, and it's more than obnoxiousness in the way that they look around and they're looking for that admiration. I can remember vividly when I went into, and even now sometimes when I become comical with people that I know and I frequent in passing, I'll behave comical. I'll say a joke. I don't have to look around for everyone's validation. I'm kind of fixed. I'm fixed on that particular person. My focus is on that person. I don't need to look. Oh, did they think that was funny? Oh, looking around. This is craziness. This is an insatiable desire to be needed. So when you're going out and about, be mindful of these little subtle things that sometimes are not so subtle. And you may say, well, you know, people out and about, they're doing their thing. I get that. Everybody has a right and they're entitled to do whatever they think they need to do for their own peace and sake of sanity and happiness, what have you. But when it becomes so intrusive to any and everybody out and about in public, to the point where this attention being drawn is so obsessive and so over the top, that in itself is room for concern. Because normal people, healthy people, you can be the clownest person in the world. You're always clowning and looking around for validation. That is not healthy. That is not healthy. And so the personality I had before the narcissist was very outward. And if you know, like I know, you don't share your energy with any and everybody in the way that I just described. You don't just go over the top out and about, because what narcissists do, they've already told everybody and their grandmother that you're no good. You're a no good, dirty dog. So when you're out and about, you have to be mindful, or you don't have to be mindful. Your intuition tells you that maybe I should just fall back and hold back on who I am, because they don't deserve me. You just have to tell yourself, they don't deserve this much of me. I'm only going to give them the bare minimum. And when you do that, as you do that, you become observant automatically, just subconsciously, you become aware, awake, enlightened, whatever words you want to put in there, because you're on point. And this is so natural when you start to ease off of the gas pedal of sorts in your persona when you go out and about. We have to understand, we are sheep among wolves, man. We are not that good. We're not as good of a person as we perceive ourselves to be in the eyes of people outside of us. We may be solid in and of ourselves, and we believe and we identify that in us. But I'm going to tell you, 9 times out of 10, people outside of you and your immediate circle, and even your immediate circle, you got to pick your friends like you pick your fruit. These people outside of you, they won't look at you in high esteem as you think. They will illusion. They will give you magic tricks. A lot of hocus pocus. The world is hocus pocus. The world is just a big magic show. It's just a big show under the big top. And when you look at it that way, you can see and say to yourself, you know what? I don't want to go to the circus today. I just want to go in my backyard and plant some tomatoes. I just want to go for a walk, talk to God, meditate, do some yoga. In our needing to be needed, to the degree that we need to be needed on a regular, consistent basis, rather than us need to need only the peace that surrounds us. That is enough to get us across the finish line on a daily basis. Anything beyond that, if we're asking and we're just in hopes of this I don't know what word to use. If we're looking for this super extra over the top excitement in our life to boost our esteem, we have to really question how our healing is manifesting itself. Is it happening in a real, raw, realistic way, or is it happening in a way that we have not come to grips with who we really truly are and who we're truly pursuing ourselves to discover? We're probably just still going through the matrix motion. Draw back from what is comfortable and what is always been expected in our mind. Draw back from that. Almost, I guess I'm saying, deprive yourself mentally and emotionally of that high that you think you need, because you don't need it. You don't need it. All you need is your health and your strength and your sanity and your spiritual grounding. On a minimum is a start. You don't have to be expecting a whole bunch from a result standpoint. Just take the initiative. Reach out into an area that's not familiar. Get out of the comfort zone of just needing that friend to commit on an excursion that you yourself need to be doing alone. And I can't believe it, you know, it's been 3, almost 4 years since I have lived, or the nightmare narcissist has lived here. And haven't had a Hoover. I don't expect to ever get one of those. Anybody knows my story. God woke me up in a major, majestic way. And being savvy for knowledge, I was right on this. I was on this, and I haven't taken any days off as far as, you know, elevating myself in the knowledge of what these individuals are, as I elevate my own self-worth. Because I had to almost throw that sheet of paper of who I was. The narcissist actually woke me up to the fact that I myself needed to work on some more genuineness, or erase the authenticity I thought I had. And I'm still doing it on a regular basis. And it feels damn good. It feels damn good. Even when I err, even when I don't say the thing in the way that I think I should have said it, I let it go. I let it flow. And I try to have the confidence within a healthy reason. I don't want to be misperceived for the sake of all of the empaths out here. I want you to know that you must believe in who you are to a strong degree. You don't have to convince people of what they don't want to believe about you. But you must not convince yourself of who you really are. You must come to terms with who you really are and hold true to that. Even if that individual that you come to terms with, that is true of who you are, accept it for what it is. If it's not where you actually want to be in your life, still accept that for that moment, for that present moment. You have to accept that in order to grow. Because if you don't accept that, you don't have room to improve upon the thing, because you can't identify with where you're at. That's a starting point. Be very transparent with yourself. Know that you don't need to be needed, and you don't need to need people like you think. God will send you people that are for you rather than against you. I lost my job, and I have so much work by way of this one individual who happens to be a state police officer. And, you know, I told him the whole story of the sexual harassment allegation. And, you know, I need to, and I don't want to second guess myself on this stuff I'm about to say, but I need to, and I don't need to do none of that, because I'm so used to saying what is. I'm used to telling the story and let the story be what it is. My mom always told me, you know, boy, you don't need to tell everybody all your business. And at 53 years old, I'm here to say, man, I ain't really got no business. There's nothing I talk about regarding me that I am not okay with. There's some things I've done in my life that are not braggadocious, and they're not brash. They're just they're they're the things that I endured. They're the things that I've experienced. They're the things that I took other people through, specifically my first wife. But looking back at my life, I was just a hot mess who became addicted to alcohol. And short of my first wife, I can't really see anything in my life whereas I was ever vicious or mean to anybody. And my nature is just to give and be, just to try to be a partaker in this thing called life. But now I'm just a new type of beast, man. Having my cake and eating it too. That's kind of how I feel, because the things that you and I know, the things that we've discovered by way of the narcissists and the abuse that they tried to take us through or succeeded in many cases, many people wish they could understand what kind of roller coaster ride there are. We know what we have endured. At least it makes sense to us. Even the insidious, sadistic, insane behavior, we have educated ourselves to come to a point where we understand and it makes sense for our sake. But that was just something I wanted to point out about how we can discover narcissists just in a casual way. I'm going out, you can just see the overt obnoxiousness. I was actually in Walmart tonight, and it was a kid. I guess he was trying to impress his girlfriend, which we often do when we're out and dating. And either the girl's acting silly or they're both acting silly. I don't think they were intoxicated. And you could see the girl looking over at me as he's being silly. I could kind of see him out of my peripheral, because you almost, I don't want to say assume, you almost intuitively know what these people are doing and their motives behind it. And so, like, I'm looking now, I'm just looking in the auto section. I'm just kind of looking at, not going out of my way trying to ignore them, but I'm actually just become, again, focused on what I'm doing, minding my business. And as I found that what I was kind of browsing for was not anything that interested me, I kind of turned to this direction and went down that aisle, glanced over at them both, and he was pretending to be looking at something, and she kind of glared over at me. And I guess because I didn't give them the validation they needed, maybe they just felt like, and they bounced, boom. It's repellent. It's narc repellent. When you ignore these individuals, whether they are total strangers or people trying to put the make on you, ignore the hell out of them. And the more you get on this channel, and the more you start learning the stuff that we guys have tried and true done, you will realize it'll become so second nature to where narcissist has no influence in your life. It's pretty late. I'm going to shower and go to bed, guys. I got to get up early. Got to do some trash runs. I picked some rubbish up from a tree I took down. So life is good here. Getting prepared because wintertime's coming and everything's about to slow down in upstate New York. I'll start doing some probably interior work, renovations, rehabs. But there's plenty of work for me, and I'm enjoying not being exhausted from a job that was paying me very well, but I literally lived my life inside of that place. It was no different than prison. It's just only different. You were getting paid. You're getting paid to go there. Income, it's been supplemented many times over, but the freedom that I have, you can't put a price on that. So if you guys have lost a job as a result of narcissist assault and character assassination, take it from me, man. You'll get over it. You'll grieve for a little while. You'll be really, really tight. You'll be angry for a minute, but don't let it last long. So be blessed, guys. Have a good night.